So as we continue our business requirements study for the airline reservation system, the next line here says support for business, tourist, and class seating. So this is part of the reservation, making a reservation, and I think it is indicating various attributes of the actual seat assignment or seat type assignment. So this definitely contributes to the data attributes. In this exercise, I'm not going to go to this level of detail about the data attributes, but it's just an example of it. Support payments by credit card only. So this is this indicates that we may have a number of things. So first of all, credit card company is becoming a secondary actor, I think. So credit card company, we use credit card company as potentially, you know, one of the actors that could be interacting with our system, because we're going to have a business contract with this company. You can say credit card company right here. We'll also discover an object. A payment is very likely to be an object. So payment is an object. That's important. Then we also could specify an additional use case, make payment. So at this stage, this is only by credit card, but in the future there could be other types of payments. So make payment certainly deserves to be something recognized as a use case. And these use cases typically also correspond, if they're interactive use cases, to a certain screen or even a series of screens available to the user. Keep track of passengers on each flight for the period of 1 year. So this is information about the database. This is some sort of requirement for forms of persistent records that are required to be supported. So I suppose that when we have flights and the flight will have a list of passengers, this information needs to be stored somewhere in a database when the flight is confirmed and the flight is departing. So the flight information is stored in the database. So this really this could be on one hand, this could be maybe a new case, but possibly this information is updated by flight boarding process. So at this stage, I'm not going to create a new case based on this line right here. Support scheduling of flights in a fixed daily schedule for n number of days in advance. So again, it sounds like a use case for an airline staff, which means support scheduling. We can say schedule flights. Schedule flights. Right, so this could be a use case that is available for the airline staff. Okay. And then this detail, fixed daily schedule and number of days in advance and other details are also going to be part of the data attributes that will be associated with specific objects and possibly database records when we identify how exactly we're going to store all this information. So this in itself does not contribute to a new object, I think. However, why don't we put a schedule on the list, right? So we have a schedule, and schedule is really a collection of flights. So basically, since we have multiple flights in the system, schedule becomes an object that is responsible for keeping a list of flights. Support flight cancellation. So flight cancellation is definitely a new use case. So I'll just say cancel flight, and this is yet another airline staff use case. I wonder what's going to happen to the reservations on this flight. So apparently my prediction is that as we cancel a flight, the reserved seats must be moved now to a waiting list, and I suppose that these reservations on the waiting list then should be given a high priority. And now that I think about this cancellation versus confirmed reservations, I would say that we could have two lists in the system. I'm just thinking that this would be a convenient thing. Confirmed reservations list and waiting reservation list, right? So something like this. So let's add this here, waiting reservation list. So we have two lists. So this is a confirmed list, and this is waiting list. So there are customers who want to get this type of reservation, or just during the processing end up on the waiting reservation list. And this is two lists that we may need to be able to maintain in the system. I think it's reasonable. And then reservation can be on this list or on this list. Notification of all customers. Okay, so could also be another use case. Notify customer, something like this. So apparently the system is able to collect customer email or possibly the telephone number to be able to distribute or communicate back notifications. So this is definitely another important venue in the list of the use cases that we support. Keep track of agents and the sales of each agent. Okay, so we have a ticket sale. So apparently this ticket sale will have an agent. So here ticketing agent is likely to be not only the actor, but also an object in the system, I would say, that we need to be keeping track of. So it is okay to have an actor who also has the corresponding business object in the system, which contains all of the attributes that are associated with this actor. So actor is just somebody outside of the boundaries of our software, but internally they could be represented by an object in computer memory. So that's just something I think this directly suggests right here. Keep track of agents and the sales for each agent. So basically the sale will have an agent, and the sale will have a payment and other connections. As we start working on the business object diagram for this case study, we'll be able to think about how these objects should be associated between one another and what could be possible connections, possible associations between them. Support for airline substitution to an airplane with a larger number of seats only. So it's like substitute aircraft, right? So airplane substitution. I named this object right here, aircraft. So yet another use case in the system. Substitute airplane, and of course this would be an airline staff function or operation. So they will be able to I need to spell this correctly, substitute. Okay. Support online access to the system by the customer. So the customer here becomes, of course, an actor. Okay, so this is like our customer. And the customer can support check online or flight schedule. So let's say just check schedule, right? So check schedule. Okay, so they can preview what flights are available and check reservation. So they are able to access the reservation and check the status. For instance, they may have been notified about the cancellation of the flight, and they were asked whether they want to be put on a waiting list or be reimbursed or given some sort of company credit, whatever the scenario is. So they may have decided to, stay on a waiting list, and then they can go check reservation. Or if the reservation is confirmed, then of course they will be seeing the confirmed status of their reservation. So this should give you an example of the analysis of the business requirements document. And now we have some interesting things that we have discovered, and as we were processing these business rules, the set of business requirements in here. So once again, I just want to show you that this specific business requirement was this handout right here, this link to the airline reservation system under current set of topics.